If you run a plumbing business in Melbourne and you have ever had to turn down a job because the cash was not there to cover the materials up front, or you have sat waiting on a commercial invoice to land while your wages bill is already due, this video is for you. Melbourne sits at the centre of one of the most active construction and building services markets in Australia. Demand for plumbing work across Victoria is strong and consistent, but strong demand does not automatically mean strong cash flow. The gap between completing a job and getting paid for it is one of the biggest financial pressure points in the trade. Business finance bridges that gap, and the good news is that it is significantly more accessible than most plumbers think. Let me run through your main options. For most plumbing businesses in Melbourne, the most commonly used structure is an unsecured business loan. You can borrow between $10,000 and $150,000 without putting up any asset as security. The application takes between 5 and 15 minutes online. Decisions typically come back within a few hours. Some lenders respond in under 30 minutes. Funds can be in your account the same day you sign the loan agreement. This is the right structure when you need working capital fast, to cover a large materials order before a job starts, bridge a gap between invoices, or cover wages during a quieter period. If you need to buy a vehicle or a piece of equipment, a new ute, pipe inspection cameras, water jetters, or any specialist gear, asset and equipment finance is almost always the more cost-effective option. The asset itself acts as security, which means better rates than an unsecured loan and terms that stretch from 1 to 5 years. You are paying for the equipment as it earns you money. If your business regularly invoices commercial clients and waits 30 to 90 days for payment, invoice finance is worth knowing about. You can unlock up to 85% of the value of an outstanding invoice immediately. The lender advances the funds and collects from your client when the invoice falls due. No waiting, no cash flow problem, and if you want ongoing access to a buffer rather than a one-off lump sum, a business line of credit gives you a pre-approved facility you draw on when needed and only pay interest on what you've actually used. Here is what most Melbourne plumbers do not know about the approval process. You do not need to own property to borrow up to around $150,000. Non-bank lenders assess your application primarily on your last 3 to 6 months of business bank statements, your average monthly revenue, and your existing commitments. If your business is generating consistent revenue, the process is fast and the eligibility bar is lower than the banks would have you believe. Standard requirements are an active ABN registered for at least 4 to 6 months, minimum monthly revenue of between $6,000 and $12,000, and Australian residency. That is it for most lenders. When comparing loan options, always ask for the total repayment amount in dollars, not just the rate. That is the number that tells you what the finance actually costs. The link in the description takes you to a free loan comparison tool. 5 minutes, no credit check, multiple lenders compared at once,